We definitely took longer than the movie.
We did, yes, yeah, we did. So, it's so weird how that works.
So yeah, if the clips are available,
yep,
we recommend you to watch the clips. If you don't want to watch the entire podcast,
absolutely, because the movie is worth it, and that should be watched.
Yeah, so if you want to watch the movie first and then come back to the podcast and join the discussion, is like that'll be great.
Yeah. Welcome everybody to another episode of Jobless Weebs, episode 56. And of course, Brian here, along with
People Mexican.
Yep, Marco. And we have another great topic to talk about today with the end of summer just around the corner.
I know.
And when this video comes out, the end of July, which is pretty great. So summer is ending, which comes along with a lot of ideas of things ending. But first off, how are we doing today?
Doing good. I'm just waiting for like this transition to a new role in my career, and it'll just make a mess with like our recording times.
It will,
and I mean, other than that, my life is not affected other than my hobbies, so...
well, okay.
Or at least not yet, because I don't know, but I mean, probably 2 episodes from now, I'll be telling you all about it, maybe.
Yes, that's right. Yeah,
what about you?
I have some things that have changed in my life as of, well, the last couple of days, leading into solidifying things like my work schedule. So it's been, well, my life has been pretty all right. Pretty okay, I think. Just living and just trying to figure out what I kind of want, what I kind of want to work towards. And of course, along with my hobbies, still going strong with what I like doing, which is great.
At least let's try to keep that alive.
Exactly. Yeah. And actually that ties into today's topic with the anime Summer Ghost. Yep. So this is an anime movie that came out last year, November 2021, and I believe that there's a North American release in theaters, so I'm still not entirely sure about like the dates or whatnot.
Oh, is it gonna be released?
I saw that.
That's one of the things that I'm gonna be honest with you. I kind of hate about, or well, hate is just very strong words.
Oh yeah, it is.
Because it's the anime community doesn't revolve around me, but but it's like, you know, like how the seasonal animes always come like right on time, but always is for anime movies that the rest of the world has to wait. Sometimes a year or more.
Yeah, for like theater releases and things. Yeah, unfortunately, it is a sad situation.
So I get like it's not that I hate it. It's just something that I feel like. How is it that you know, like Crunchyroll or Funimation, Hulu, Amazon,
streaming
that they have like these streaming services? Because I want to go with like the legal ones.
Right. Yeah, the licensed,
like the licensed ones we have access to are on top of things with regular animes, like coming every week, and they stream sometimes more than like 20 episodes a week for the different animes.
Right.
But for a movie, it's like we have to wait a year. It's like, I mean, some of them Sing a Bit of Harmony.
Ooh, yes.
That one came out also last year, and didn't come out until recently, a couple months ago. And I missed the show in theaters because it was a regular day, I think.
Oh yes, and that's the other thing. Yeah, it is It is.
Oh yeah,
it really irks me too a little bit. Yeah. Let's see if I could find that. So,
I mean, anyways.
Yeah, be that as it may.
If you have watched it already or are about to watch it, here's all the things that you need to know, and we're gonna try to tell you when we're talking about spoilers.
Yes, we'll let you know. Yeah, this will be a little bit spoilery since we'll be going through it. It's a short one, 40 minutes long, so it's not too terribly like big movie, I would say. One of those short ones.
Yeah, it's when I watched it, I thought it was like a short.
Yes. Oh yeah.
Short thing, and I was like, okay, but I mean, despite it being 40 minutes, I mean, you know, like
it's impactful.
Like regular anime movies, they range either between 1 hour and 20 and 2 hours and something.
Yeah.
For some of the movies, like Violet Garden movie, that was 2 hours.
Yep.
But Weathering with You was also kind of lengthy.
Yeah, that's right. Yep. Yeah, quite a few others, and then a couple of the short ones are, say, like The Girl Who Leapt Through Time was another short one.
The Garden of Words.
That one too. Yeah, so this one is another definitely seasonal based anime movie in the end of summer, and so a lot of like the pictures and whatnot online, you can see like a summer setting with the four characters.
Essentially 3 and then
yes, 3 and then that's right. And then a lot of the things online you can see is them playing with fireworks, which is very, very seasonal for the end of summer. And what would you say like the genre of this movie is?
I would put it into the slice of life / seinen.
Okay. Yeah.
Because I mean, the art is definitely not seinen.
Right. Ooh, and and it is kind of unique too.
Yeah.
It's
the art kind of reminded me of like I Want to Eat Your Pancreas, like the character design, like
overall. Just like that sort of soft lines and design. It does kind of remind me of that
like,
one.
There were really smooth colors, and it was really colorful because you know it was like it was trying to depict summer.
Yes.
But also fireworks, so you instantly think like, okay, summer fireworks, either at sundown or like coming nightfall.
Yes,
but like
exactly.
Since you want to keep those range of colors vivid.
Vivid and sort of autumn almost. Autumn fall colors.
So it was like this orange palette of colors.
Yeah.
Because it was not. I think there were few scenes where they were like really with the fireworks and it was already nighttime.
That's right.
So most of the time it was around sundown. And they were doing their stuff. So,
and I think there was like only 1 or 2 scenes that had like green in the fields. And and so those kind of stood out to me. But mostly that fall autumn color palette. The first time I watched it, I was looking at the colors and I was trying to figure it out. But when I was looking at the characters, they almost seemed washed out to me, which was a point that I wanted to bring up.
Okay.
They almost seemed like washed out to me. But I was thinking like, is it like really washed out, or is it just that they were trying to convey that like dusk time? And now that we're talking about, I think to me it was trying to convey that like sort of getting dark, and like dusk colors are a little bit more dull almost. So yeah, and then I was thinking, well, also with that idea of dusk and darkness is kind of like that coming into the end of a story or to the end of the season, really, in this case. So I thought that was kind of a cool thing with how they were trying to depict that. But yeah, I would agree. More slice of life, more seinen genre, since it is with those heavier topics of death and along with suicide, of course, since this group of three started, they met up first in that sort of like idea of seeing a ghost.
Yeah.
And
when it started, it started.
Oh yeah. Let's start at the beginning. Yeah.
Okay, so for the beginning, we have these characters. It's three of them.
That's right.
It's Sugisaki Tomoya, who's like the main character. Then it's Kobayashi Ryou, which is the second male one, and Haruka Aoi.
Yes.
They have no relation whatsoever with each other.
Exactly.
It just seems that they found themselves kind of like in a forum or something.
They didn't really show that, but yeah, they ended up in like a group forum where they can like chat.
Yeah, and they became acquainted.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So they were like, oh yeah, there's a ghost. And at the beginning, I thought like, oh yeah, kind of like supernatural, kind of like mystery.
Exactly.
I mean, I wasn't expecting it to be, like a suspense or thriller.
Right.
But it was some supernatural kind of thing. I was not expecting what I ended up watching.
Oh no, yeah, me neither. No, yeah.
I mean, I kind of like had a notion when they were like, oh yeah, it's about this legend and it's about a girl that committed suicide at the end of summer.
Right.
And I was like,
and that's what Tomoya was like thinking.
Yeah, and I was like, oh, we're going that route. It was like, I really hope we're not going that route. And because they're like, oh yeah, we want to see a ghost. And at the beginning, I didn't know if they wanted to see a ghost. Yeah. Because of what happened, like the suicide, or just to satisfy some.
Yeah, a thrill. Yeah. Like they're ghost hunting, so they're interested in like the things that aren't usually encountered. Maybe like a supernatural thrill, maybe. Yeah.
And so they start looking everywhere because the legend says, which is it's kind of weird because it's a legend, but it hasn't really been that long since it happened. So
they mentioned that it's like been the past couple of years that if you are like burning fireworks at this field, this area, then a ghost will appear.
Yeah. And so they started searching for all the places until they get to, it seemed kind of like an airport.
Yeah, it was an airport. Yeah.
Right?
So yeah, the legend was that if you're burning fireworks at the airport, then the ghost will appear there. Yeah. That's right.
And so the girl appears.
Yep.
The girl whose name is Sato Ayane.
Yep. Sato Ayane. Yes.
And so from there, it slowly turns dark.
Yes, yeah. So when she appears, it's like they are there in order to ask the ghost something, or at least the ghost like kind of realizes that's what they're there for. And so Aoi, she's the one that kind of like gets closer to the ghost at first. The other two guys, they're kind of like they're kind of like more coming to grips with like, oh wow, a ghost like actually appeared. But Aoi goes up to Ayane and is like, they're talking to her, and then Ayane is like, yeah, only those who are in arm's reach of death can see me.
Yeah.
So then it's like, whoa, okay, they're all close to death. And so that's when you realize, oh crap, like, okay, are they all like thinking of committing suicide? Is that why they're like interested in this ghost? For her, oh, and by the way, a lot of the story happens in flashbacks for the characters. Yeah, so I thought that was interesting with the end of summer idea.
Yeah, because at this point, like she just says, like, "Oh yeah, everyone that's rich, can see me," and it's like, okay,
right.
So you already had some little kind of like flashbacks, really small flashbacks from like from some of the characters.
That's right. With like the painting, I believe that was before.
Yeah, with Tomoya, where he was painting.
Oh,
then the other guy.
Ryou.
With Ryou that quitting his club.
Yeah, from
and
basketball.
The other one experiencing bullying.
Oh yes, Aoi.
Which is I think it was a great way to tackle in, because I don't know what about now, but I remember like a couple years back I heard that Japan had like one of the highest indices of like suicides.
Right.
Like suicide rates were really high in Japan.
Yeah.
So in a way, this is tackling this.
Yeah.
Kind of like to avoid or kind of like to show it, because the way you talk about suicide, it's like a taboo.
Right. Yeah. Because it is like, well, even even in the flashback with Aoi, when her flashback is shown, it's, of course, with that bullying. At first, she's like on the roof, and then she gets dumped with water. And so, of course, well, that's pretty bad. So then the next scene in particular with that is that she's on the edge of the roof.
About to, like, do her business.
Right. And then apparently the people who threw the water on her is like about to go back in, but one of them turns around and is like, whoa, what the heck? And like runs up to her and like pulls her off. And it's like, well, okay, right. Of course, sure, that would happen. Like maybe your
but the thing is that the victims were the bullies.
Yes, yeah.
They're like, the professor were like, what were you thinking? Like, you could have traumatized your bullies, like, by killing yourself. Because she was the one to blame. Like, you're trying to take the easy way out, aren't you? And
she was. Dude,
what the heck is wrong with you?
Right? Wasn't that messed up? Yeah, that was pretty messed up. So. Yeah, that was kind of the undercurrent. I guess they didn't realize that.
Yeah.
When she was in the infirmary lying on the bed, the teacher or the adult figure off screen was like, like she finally came back to school and maybe something's wrong with her. And it's like, whoa, what the heck?
Yeah. It's like, and of course, because something is like, something is wrong with her.
Right.
Like,
but
I don't think that's the root of the problem.
Right. And so I think that is showing some of those taboos that are coming into play maybe with suicide and how we talk about it, and like, and who's like to blame. But it's like, for her, dealing with that, it's no one wants to, like, I mean, it's so it's just like, wow. It's definitely going for that feeling of what people go through and the stories that go along with that. Because for her, it felt like she's not getting the help she needs. She's not getting like the empathy that for her, yeah, it is hard.
Yeah, like she's been blamed for.
Yeah, for people saying that she's
trying to
give
up, and it's like,
yeah,
in a way, yeah, she is to blame, but not in a way of like the way that they were doing it is like they were kicking her and she was already down.
Okay.
It's not like okay, like come on, we're gonna support you, like
right.
Talk, because the thing is that those adult figures, and that was one of the things that I would like to point out in the movie.
Yeah,
is that the movie itself has a bunch of holes that makes no sense, and one of the things, and probably it's in a way it's kind of real, that the adults were not supportive enough. Because they were even the adults were like, yeah, something's wrong with her. She's like she is to blame. She almost traumatized those bullies by trying to kill herself, but they never thought like, well, why did she try to jump out of the roof
in the first
when those guys were there? Like, what were those guys doing there?
Yeah.
For that to happen, you know, it's like there were a bunch of holes. One more hole that I want to cover when we talk about Ayane.
Oh yes,
because I thought that was really stupid, but
okay.
But at least for Oi, yeah, it's like she's made not like the victim, but the reason of why people around her are mean to her is because she kind of like asked for it. And it's like, that's so messed up.
Oh yes, yeah. That is because interesting. Yeah, that is definitely messed up for her. Dang, she's so weak.
The next one. Do you want to talk about Tomoya now?
Sure. Yeah.
All right. Tomoya, he doesn't has it as hard as Aoi. Well, kind of like if you were to put them into a balance, Tomoya's life is not that hard. The only thing is that Tomoya, he really likes, art, painting, drawing.
Right.
But it seems like he comes from a very conservative family and very like controlling household.
Yeah. Well, the thing is with him is that he performs really well in school, and so the pressure is that the expectation is for him to excel in university and continue with that. And so the teacher is like, oh, you'll go far with that. But Tomoya is like looking off to the side. And his mom, she's like, oh, well, the only thing is that he doesn't perform well in literature, in literature classes. So he kind of isn't doing really well in there, at least. So I think that might actually be part of the thing. So his mom is like, I may have misspoke with like him doing well in school. So he's not doing well.
Overall, he's doing really good.
Right, overall. And and so actually, So
but it seems like
he has a weakness with literature.
Yeah, he has a weakness. But the thing is like like the conservative household where he comes from is like, oh yeah, you're great, like math, science, and all the stuff is like so normally I think it's a normal
at least like mindset,
kind of like he's gonna be a great doctor, great scientific engineer, and not like he's great in math, he's gonna do great with music, or like and he's great in science, he could be a great painter because
no one says no one like the expectation for the mother is that he will go to university and kind of not be distracted by the hobby or like art, I guess, because I guess his mom does know about that. So he's in cram school currently, even in the summer. So yeah, the mom is like going through like all the different things with Tomoya, and is like, hey, like, you gotta step it up to do this, to go to university. So he feels constrained with that situation. And so with that, for him specifically, he is contemplating death and suicide. To sum it up, he feels that's the way out from this pressure.
Right.
Or at least he's thinking about it. Because he's not like... So with I also picked up from him was that he's not really like driven. He's not really like really decisive, I would say. His personality is more of that, like, going with the flow almost. But of course he does want to paint. He does want to do art and stuff. But he feels, as Ayane points out, he feels dead inside.
Yeah. No, I mean, that's exactly right. And it's like, oh crap. Like, at least for him, I thought like, okay, if you're contemplating that, it's like, you should really set your priorities straight, because that's something that you can change yourself. Well, with Aoi case, it's like, she can also change by herself, but that's a bit harder.
Yes, yeah.
That's involved many other people, and well, I guess for Tomoya also involved.
It does
her
involve
mother and
his mother. Yeah,
a lot of times, you have this respect for your parents and kind of like do what they tell you because they know better.
Right, and
so up to some point.
Oh, sure.
But it is not until you grow up that you learn to differentiate where that point is.
Right. Like, and what is your life?
Yeah, because like, these are high schoolers. These are
kids. Yes. Yeah, that's right. We gotta remember that they are still in high school.
And so, as an almost 28-year-old guy,
right? We are kind of. To be honest, yes, we are kind of removed from that. But
like, of course, not saying we have our life together, but
we still struggle,
but we have a better kind of like view of how things happen. Because now, looking back, I'm like, oh well, I did a lot of stupid things when I was in high school, and I thought I was a grown up already.
Right.
And I'm thinking about it like I was such an idiot.
Yeah.
And right now I'm thinking like, I'm still an idiot, but at least I'm aware of it. So.
Oh, sure. Yeah. Back in high school, I thought, like, I'm almost an adult. I feel like an adult, and so like, I should have like, I don't know, control over my life. But maybe looking back, maybe I didn't, and maybe that's okay.
Yeah. So for these kids, it's the same.
Yes, exactly. And so, Ryou. Well, for him, with that first flashback for him, we see that he has a condition, or that he is sick. They don't really define or describe what it is. All we see are the X-rays of his skull, basically. So we might be able to guess, and infer. For him, he is given a life expectancy of less than a year. Yeah. Very, very short.
Yeah, he has a terminal illness. He he's already branded.
Yes.
And the thing with him is like
less than a year.
Everything is great, but you have a time limit, and that's what makes him kind of like go under. And honestly, I don't know what else to report because like I haven't been in that situation, and I hope I'm never in that situation.
Right. Yeah. For him, it crept up on him. Yeah. Like it was sudden, or at least his life was going well.
Yeah.
Like
it seemed like he was popular. Like he was really good at sports.
Yep. He was in the basketball team and like we don't really know much about his family. We kind of assume that his parents are around.
I think that
we don't even know that though.
That's definitely more of like him giving up in life. Because he has a time limit.
Exactly.
And instead of kind of like trying to enjoy his last moments, he's just like mopping around the past and what could have been if the illness were not there.
Yes. The loss, or at least the sudden loss, or even like, I don't know, I'm ripping kind of like his life and ripping out that promise of something to live for, to look forwards to. So he quits the basketball club, and he's of course looking into what it would be like after death, basically. So I was interested in what they kind of asked Ayane, what death is like, or like or what to expect, or something like that. For him, he didn't actually ask her. Now that I think about it, he kind of more like after seeing her, he was more like contemplative, I would say, because the other two, Tomoya was like, how do you perceive death? But then of course we know that he comes back trying to figure out like what is it like for her, and what is it like. He was more interested in that, contemplating.
Yeah, suicide. You mentioned it. But it's something funny because something at the end of the movie gives you a lot of hints, because he wanted to leave it. And I think we can now move to Ayane now.
Yes, yeah.
And have him like at the end. Because Ayane, she was this girl throughout the movie. She was good, but something happened, an argument with her mom. Then something bad happened, and these are where the real spoiler. Like I think we've talked a lot of spoilers, but like this is like one of the main ones, because the legend says she committed suicide. Because for now the whole movie has just revolved around suicidal thoughts, suicide.
Yeah.
But now then, it just makes a twist of like she didn't kill herself.
Yeah.
She was running.
Yeah.
And she got hit by a car. And the guy, or whomever,
whoever was
run into her, just like put her inside a suitcase.
Yeah.
And drop her, like
buried her in a junkyard.
Alive.
Yes,
and I was like,
that's the thing.
What the heck is that? And that's one of the holes that I want to talk about.
Okay.
It's like, where the heck is the police?
Okay.
At this point, the mom is waiting for her daughter for 3 years.
Right. To come home, basically.
But it's like, where the heck is the police? It's like,
okay.
They never mention anything about a police report.
Right. No missing persons.
No missing persons.
I have no idea.
And even when they find her, they just dropped her necklace into the door. And it's like,
okay.
Why don't you freaking call the police? I mean, kind of like a good closure, you know? Because the mom is going to be devastated.
Yes.
Because after 3 years, they were like, oh yeah, your daughter's well,
Right.
3 years.
Right.
So it's like, yeah, that's gonna be terrible. But it's like, where the heck is the police?
Yeah, that is an odd thing that you mentioned now.
Why didn't these kids call the police? They're just like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna grab the necklace from this corpse that's been decomposing for 3 years.
3 years. Right.
And it's like,
and not like tied.
I know that's probably not the point of the anime.
Okay. Well, all right, but yeah, the movie doesn't show any of that at all. Any police reports or any like searches. The kids just find the suitcase and the body, and then return the necklace. And I have no idea. It kind of glosses over all of that, so I'm not sure.
You kind of ignored it, and you're like, oh, okay, yeah. Like that was a really emotional part for all the characters,
right?
Because Toya, while that was happening, he was battling between either just like call it a day, literally,
right. Well,
or like just continue with life and struggle, and
yeah. So yeah, we don't see what happens because it should. Yeah, I'm not sure why they did that. That's odd.
Right.
Other than that, keeping it within that high school experience and that more emotional impact.
Yeah.
So if that was shown with like the police, or at least like, because in that case it does need to be brought to that type of legal attention.
In that case, there would have been some sort of like investigation.
Yeah, it would have been
for the kids and
exactly an investigation, some sort of report, some sort of closure for the mother, of course. But it isn't shown in that regard. And also that brings up another point, is that the 4 kids, the 3 in the beginning and the ghost. And we might have to talk about that also with the 3 and the ghost, because there's another one. So the cast is just those 4.
Yeah,
with the voice acting.
Pretty much.
The mother doesn't have a voice actress, has no lines, but it is kind of like just. Actually, the mother of Tomoya does have lines, and the teacher,
one of the teachers, and one of the students. But
so I do take that back. But they aren't really in like the story.
They have like 5 seconds or so.
Yeah. Yes. Exactly. Yeah.
So like the important ones are the 4 kids.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, that's odd. So Summer Ghost is literally just their experience. And none of that is shown.
Yeah.
With that type of. Okay, interesting. So it could have been, the whole atmosphere and vibe of the story could have been way different if that was shown.
Yeah, because then it would have probably been more than 40 minutes.
Yes.
It would have probably revolved around close to 2 hours, maybe.
Yeah,
just to fix everything, and like for the plot to make sense with all of that. So in a way, I know that they skip that part.
Yeah,
just for the sake of the plot.
Sure. And maybe there were things that happened,
or maybe it happened, but they didn't show it because that wasn't the point of the anime. Because the point of the anime at the end of the day was like, don't kill yourself.
Right.
As simple as that.
It is that simple.
It doesn't matter how bad it gets. It won't get as bad as being in this emptiness, because they pretty much show that there was emptiness.
Yeah. So Tomoya especially had to learn what it was like for Ayane. So for him specifically, he spent the most time with her, the summer ghost. He spent the most time with her, kind of. Oh, and that was another thing. The three of them spent a lot of time with out-of-body experiences.
Yeah.
Ayane would somehow kind of like reach into them and grab their soul or something. And so their bodies would be left on the landing strip. And then it was so cool. The first time, it was like that they ran along the landing strip. Well, not ran. They kind of flew along the landing strip and then like took off into the air. That was so cool. And then she dropped him. He fell, not knowing how to do it, into the ground.
To the ground,
was like water.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was so cool. So it was kind of like, oh, and also there was a shot that looked like, so there was this one specific part, this one, where they were talking about death and how talking about the difference. Oh, and this is why I was bringing this up, because in the ground it looked like water, and then in reality, or like the top of the world, it looked like that, and there was a division in between them. There may be something shown here, but with that division, it's like showing how Ayane and Tomoya differ. No matter what Tomoya was like experiencing with his body, it's like still different.
Yeah.
And like between that spiritual world and that and the physical world, I guess, or like the living world, I guess you could say, like
you could say it like that.
Yeah. Okay. When they were like nearing the end of their like time together, basically, she was like, I don't want to, with all this like time that we spent together, I don't want you to think that death is not all that bad.
Oh.
And that was the line that really stood out to me, because it's like, he's experiencing this out of body experience away from his body, but it's like she is living that, having already died. And so for her, it's in the past. For him, it's in the future. And so, I just thought that was like really, really cool. Because so he had to come to grips with that specifically, that for him is like, it's still a decision, but for her, it's like not.
Yeah.
And so, I thought that was really, really, really impactful, because for him, that's what he had to learn. And of course, he kind of like grew up out of that. For Aoi, we see her use the umbrella when she got splashed. So, and then she kind of stood up for herself. That's what kind of like she kind of got out of this experience, I would say. Of course, life isn't great, but kind of like her dealing with that is kind of like her way of like learning from the summer ghost experience.
Right. Because Tomoya, it seems that he had his mother's support as long as he did what she wanted. So it's like, okay, I want to do something else, so I'm gonna live by myself, and
right.
And he's like, and I'm struggling, but I'm doing what I wanted.
Yeah.
Because like, I'll live by myself. It's hard, and then the other guy's like, that's good.
Right.
But then it's like, you see them with the fireworks, and they're like, no.
Yes, and that's the huge mind twist.
Because then you see Ryou that he had regrets. Because it seems that for the ghosts to be there, they had to have regrets. And for, what was the name of the girl?
Ayane?
For Ayane was that she couldn't find her body.
And so that was her regret, because the mother has to deal with never knowing what happened. But her regret, she can't search and find for her body. So that's why she got their help to find her body. But Ryou, he could not, so you realize he is a ghost in this following summer, because with that flashback, he was already on his deathbed in spring. And so he was ghost that they were kind of like seancing with almost on the landing strip this last time. And so yeah, he talked with the other two and came to grips with that, yeah, life may be full of regrets, but then as long as you kind of look forward to something, then the fear isn't as bad.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh boy, but yeah, that was a good one.
Yeah, and it was really good.
We definitely took longer than the movie.
We did, yes, yeah, we did. So, it's so weird how that works.
So yeah, if the clips are available,
yep,
we recommend you to watch the clips if you don't want to watch the entire podcast.
Absolutely, because the movie is worth it, and that should be watched.
Yeah, so if you want to watch the movie first and then come back to the podcast and join the discussion, is that'll be great.
Yeah, that's awesome.
But
I think that's about it.
Yeah.
Actually, one more thing with the whole movie, just for with ending that on that note that Ryou is also a summer ghost with the mind twist at the end. It's like, whoa! But looking at the whole movie started at the end, and the whole movie was a flashback. If you pick up on that.
Yeah, you're true. Because there's it's been a year.
It's already been a year. So everything we see where Ayane
it seems like it was just them talking about what happened 1 year ago. I said, now that you mention it.
Yeah, so cool. I thought that was a really cool thing. So it's like, Ayane, she was the summer ghost. But Ryou is also...
It's the current one.
Ryou is also the summer ghost. Oh, it was amazing. Loved it.
Yeah. Thanks for watching. If Summer Ghost is sometime available, we recommend you to watch it.
Yep.
It was really good. It's a short one, shorter than the podcast.
Yep.
Still, watch the podcast, like, subscribe, comment, and watch all the other podcasts we have for the movies and animes. And we'll see you guys next week. Keep watching anime.
Yep. Till then.